Jailton Almeida says he'd focus on Jon Jones' weak points in a potential fight. Conor McGregor wants to be the guy with the most knockout wins in the UFC. Nate Diaz predicts Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. And Jake Shields wants polygamy legalized in the United States. Jailton Almeida is ready to take on the best fighters in the UFC heavyweight division after dispatching a scary test in Jair Rozenstruik at UFC Charlotte. Almeida made it look easy against Rozenstruik. He took him down, secured full mount, landed a few hammer fists, and then choked him out. Dana White was very impressed with his performance.
This guy looks like he's going to be a star in the heavyweight division. Yeah, his double leg is insane. And when he gets that top position, he doesn't screw around. He goes in there and tries to finish. And yeah, I have a lot of high hopes for this kid. I think he's going to be something special.
Malia Gino is undoubtedly the scariest prospect in the heavyweight division. After his most recent win, he's now 5-0 in the promotion, with 3 wins by submission and 2 by technical knockout. Moreover, he has only absorbed 2 strikes in his 5 UFC fights. With such impressive stats, Almeida thinks that he's ready to take on the best fighters in the world, with Tai Tuivasa being at the top of his hit list. This is what he had to say through a translator during the post-fight press conference.
Tai Tuivasa, either he comes to Brazil, feel the energy down there, or perhaps go to Abu Dhabi, where I heard that he actually does his camp. So don't worry, we'll do that. We'll make that effort and go to him.
Prior to his fight against Rozenstruik, Almeida had said that he wouldn't mind fighting Jon Jones if an opportunity came his way immediately after UFC Charlotte. Quote, "I'll leave that up to the UFC matchmaker. If he sees I have the possibility of fighting for the belt, I have to get ready for that. If he says I need to fight one more time, I'll be ready for that as well. I hope Jon Jones stays. I hope he beats Stipe Miocic and says, I'll do one more fight, put me against anyone. It would be very satisfying if they put me there. It's like completing the game, fighting and beating the all-time best." Although Jones would be a tough fight for Almeida, he thinks the UFC heavyweight champion has a few weak points that he can exploit. Quote, "This fight would be very difficult for me. Jon Jones is a complete fighter. Everybody knows that. He's very versatile in everything he does. I'd let things go and focus on his weak spots to catch him. Study the fight early on and try to do my thing to finish the fight." Speaking of Jon Jones, Yair Rodriguez recently shared a heartwarming story about the consensus GOAT. According to Yair, his first meeting with Jones took place during his time in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where the 2-division UFC champ's kind words changed his life for the better. Here's what El Pantera had to say.
I remember one time when I was training in Albuquerque, and then he approached me and he said, "Hey, can you come here, please?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." He's like, "What's your name?" Like, I told him my name, and he was like, "Your skills are impressive. How old are you?" I was 21 years old in that moment. And he said, "When I was 21 years old, I didn't have those skills. You're gonna get far on this sport. Just keep going." And you know that coming from Jon Jones in that moment when he wasn't my friend, and he was just giving me inspiration words, it was like something really special for me. And you make me believe in myself even more.
Rodriguez currently holds the interim UFC featherweight title and will take on champion Alex Volkanovski in a title unification bout at UFC 290. Will the Mexican pull off the upset? At UFC Charlotte, Matt Brown made history by becoming the joint record holder for the most knockouts in UFC history with 13 when he dispatched Court McGee in the first round. Brown, who's 42 years old, is a veteran of the sport who has fought some of the toughest fighters in his career, and his record speaks for itself. He's truly living up to his immortal moniker and impressing fans and pros alike, even in the twilight of his career. Conor McGregor was certainly impressed with Brown as well, but he vows to beat his recently set record. The Irishman currently has 8 knockout wins in the UFC. Quote, "Matt Brown at 42 years old now holds the joint highest KOs inside the UFC with 13. Him and Derek the Black Beast Lewis are tied. I hold 8 KOs in the UFC currently at 34 years of age. I'm getting this record." This is how Matt Brown responded to Conor McGregor's tweet. Quote, "I'll fight you for it." For now, McGregor is waiting for his fight against Michael Chandler, which will take place at the conclusion of The Ultimate Fighter Season 31. Recently, the UFC launched a tough trailer, which builds on rumors of animosity between McGregor and Chandler, revealing a heated face-off. The highly anticipated fight between McGregor and Chandler is still up in the air, with nothing confirmed yet. Even Dana White doesn't know when it'd take place.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's the most asked question I'm getting right now. Obviously, the season of The Ultimate Fighter airs soon, and then during that season, we will be working very hard to put that fight together.
Tough 31 will premiere on May 30th. In a recent interview, Nate Diaz was asked to make his prediction for McGregor versus Chandler, and he favored his former two-time opponent.
Chandler's real tough and explosive and crazy young guy, but I don't know how old he is, but I think I think Conor's better than Chandler. But Chandler, you're great too.
Diaz was also asked about Leon Edwards, and he had nothing but positive things to say about the UFC welterweight champion. Diaz fought Edwards at UFC 263, where he almost pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in UFC history in the 5th round after getting beat up for as long as the fight lasted. Diaz badly rocked his opponent in the dying moments of the fight, but failed to finish the job because of his showboating. When asked about a potential rematch with Edwards, Diaz said that he'd love to run it back with him, and he hopes that Rocky stays the champion for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think I'm over him either, too. He's great. He's a great fighter also. And, it'd be cool if he hung off. It'd be cool if he hung on to it for a while, and he deserves it, and trains hard, works hard. And,
Edwards most recently fought at UFC 286 in London, where he made a successful welterweight title defense against Kamaru Usman. He will likely face Colby Covington next. In a recent interview, Covington revealed that they would fight by the end of this year. But according to Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, the UFC is working on a fight between the two and the promotion's return to London in July. Who do you think would win a potential fight between Leon Edwards and Colby Covington? Jake Shields is back at it again. Over the past year or so, the former UFC welterweight title challenger has been creating a lot of stir on Twitter by voicing extremely polarizing opinions on sensitive issues. Shields has on a number of occasions come under fire for his comments against the transgender community, especially trans athletes. In his recent tweet, Shields made another controversial remark, demanding that polygamy be legalized, while also taking a subtle jab at trans-affirming surgery and gay marriages. Quote, "Why is polygamy illegal in the US? We're a free country, so shouldn't consenting adults be able to make their own choices as long as others aren't harmed? I can chop my dick off and marry a man, but it's a crime to have 2 wives." What do you make of Jake Shields' controversial tweets? Give us your thoughts on today's stories in the comments section below. If you like the video, please smash that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so that we can keep bringing you more juicy stories from the world of mixed martial arts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.